So yeah, this 370Z is getting the full kit with injectors. It has the new clutch, and also I recommended the C-Mac kit since that's my favorite CSC delete kit in the market. I don't like the other ones. This one feels great, and it's also easy to install. Other things that are different from other kits is, well, you can reuse the factory heat shield from the GTR, which makes it look very factory from the top part at least. Other things included with this kit, or at least on this car, is I got the custom coolant CNC piece right here, and with this one I get to delete the hard lines that go over here, since they'll be very close to the turbo and cause them to overheat, and I change them with AN soft lines from Vibrant. That saves a lot of room for the heat shield and also for other lines in the inlet. Yeah, the intercooler piping is very simple. This goes to the GTR intercooler right here. It goes from a 2-inch to 2.5 to 2.75 straight into the intercooler. The coolant lines, the first one goes to this one on the bottom goes to the actual CNC plate right here, and the second one on the top goes to the block right there with fittings that I provide with the line kit. Other things to be noted is, well, obviously the factory GTR downpipe doesn't fit because it points that way, since they don't have a transmission like we do. They have a bell housing, and they meet right here in the middle. So these are custom downpipes. They are 2.75 inch, and yeah, they go straight to the factory exhaust or any aftermarket exhaust. Everything fits nicely. There's no issues with fitment here. Although you do have to grind this a little bit, just because if you don't, it will contact the frame a little bit. By just sanding it lightly like this, it doesn't touch the frame at all. A couple hard areas in this kit is the AC lines on the driver's side. It's not too bad, but you do have to bend them a little bit to get everything to fit. And also, if you're using this coolant CNC piece with the 2012 and above coolant system, then you need to get the GTR thermostat. That way you can still feed your coolant reservoir bottle from the bottom there. I have everything heat wrapped for safety, including having a braided lining over the vacuum lines. That way they don't rip or get damaged or from the heat or anything else. That's it for this side. I do have the Z1 solid motor mounts on here with 10 AN drain lines back to the gray oil pan. In the front, everything looks the same. The inlet points this way on this side, and the other side is very close. It points a little more up, so that way, because there's no clearance on this area. Got a little oil drain going on here. I just finished the drain lines for this car, so just to get a little more lighting here. Same thing with this side, everything fits perfectly. This side has no issues with anything in this area. There's no coolant lines, nothing in the way. The only thing you have to do on this side though is you do have to clock the compressor housing, because originally it's about right here and that touches the frame. You have to clock it down to fit between the motor mount and the power steering lines. After you do that, you do have to relocate the the wastegate. It takes me about an hour to do that, to clog the turbo and relocate the wastegate. So it's not that hard. You don't need any welding or anything like that. Just a little bit of drilling and that's it to relocate this. The intercooler outlet is the same as the other side. It's 2-inch 45 to 2.5, and then after here, this is a 2.5 45 again, and here there's another coupler that goes to the factory intercooler, 2.5 to 2.75, the factory GTR that is. For drain, goes back to the Gretty oil pan. The coolant lines, you can barely see them in there, but they're basically the same idea as the other side. They do go to the block. Same thing with the downpipe, same style, same size. The O2 sensors fit perfectly. Same thing here, no issues with that. And I haven't had any issues with these melting from heat. I even tracked my other car, there's no issues here. The heat shield does a pretty good job. As for the crank sensor, just to be safe, I do heat wrap it along with all these wires here that go to the transmission. It doesn't hurt to be extra safe. Other notable things is the alternator bracket has to be removed. I mean, that's done with every single turbo kit out there. And I also heat wrap it right here just to be safe. Other than that, everything else is just like factory.